Hey there, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. If you're an experienced reloader, and maybe even if you're a new reloader, you might have had that moment. That moment when reloading goes wrong. Now, there's a bunch of different outcomes based on reloading going wrong. It could be something as simple as you didn't size your cartridge correctly, doesn't chamber in your bolt-action rifle, doesn't feed reliably in your AR-15, or it could be a lot more drastic. Say you have a case with a lot of case capacity and you double charge. Well, you could end up blowing up that revolver. You could end up blowing up that semi-auto pistol. Very serious responsibility, and that's why it pays to double, triple, quadruple check your load data. Double, triple, quadruple check your components. Double, triple, quadruple check your powder charge while you're loading. You can't be too careful. Now recently, I had such a situation unfold. I was reloading a whole bunch of 9mm ammunition. I got my 5.0 grain charge of CFE pistol dialed in for 9mm. I was off and running. Well, I was using a powder measure without a baffle in it, and what happened was, over the course of the loading session, things settled in a bit and the charge level increased. Now fortunately, I was very strictly following my visual check on every cartridge policy that I have with myself. It's either that or use a powder die like a powder cop die from Hornady or an RCBS lockout die from RCBS. Gotta do it. Gotta check every single round and make sure there is powder and there's not too much powder. So now I have probably 800 rounds of 9mm ammunition that I don't know the integrity of. I don't know when the powder started to rise. I noticed it after a while. So it's kind of junk ammo at this point. Now the good news is I can break it all down and I can reuse all of the components. So it's just a bunch of time that I flush down the toilet. Now you might be used to these impact bullet pullers. This is a Frankfurt Arsenal unit here. Works really good. It's got a collet in it. You put the cartridge in there, you tighten it down, you hit it on the floor, and the momentum of the bullet causes it to come out of the case, and then it captures the powder in here and you can pour it out. It takes a while. It's better for a few bullets that you need to pull, maybe while you're setting up the press. You don't want to waste components or something like that. But I've got a large quantity of 9mm cartridges here that I need to break down. So I went out and I bought a Hornady Cam Lock bullet puller. This is a die that you can use a collet that uses lever action to grab the bullet, uses the press to pull the bullet out. It's really fast and really effective to use. So let me show you how to set it up, and then I'll show you breaking down some of this bad 9mm ammo that I loaded. So over on this side we have what's included with the Hornady Cam Lock bullet puller. It comes in this slip tube case here. It includes the die body, the cam lever assembly, and a stem that activates the collet. It also includes printed instructions that tell you how to set up the Cam Lock bullet puller. Now, in addition to the Cam Lock bullet puller components, you're going to need one or more collets, basically one for each class of bullet diameter that you want to pull. So this collet number 9, 338, 358 is the range, is the correct collet for 9mm. So what I do is insert the collet, insert the stem, and then screw in the cam lever assembly. Just a ways. Next, we will install this on the press and get everything dialed in. Okay, so let's go over setup. Now, the first note is pretty much any press with standard 7/8 by 14 die threading is going to work with the Hornady Cam Lock bullet puller tool. I'm going to use the Hornady Lock and Load AP because I've got it set up for 9. I'm going to kind of reload the ammunition after the breakdown with this particular press. And I'm using station number 5. I just put my lock and load bushing in that station because I've got good access here to insert and remove the cartridge as I go through the steps here. So the first thing I need is a flashlight. I'm going to shine that up into where the bottom of the die will be at the top of the stroke. I'm going to start to work the die body assembly down into the bushing. Go a ways down there. Okay, now I'm going to take a 9mm Parabellum cartridge. This is one of the cartridges I'm going to be breaking down. Raise the ram to the top of the stroke so that the cartridge is inserted into the die This is where our flashlight comes in really handy. We need to aim it right up inside there. Okay? And what I'm doing is I'm screwing this down so that the mouth of the collet you saw me put in is right at the level where it's about to go over the top of the case mouth. So we want it just above that level, so there's a slight sliver of bullet showing between where the collet is and where the top of the case mouth is. We'll kind of dial that in as our preliminary setting. And now this is kind of where it comes down to feel. What we want to do is work this seating plug down by turning in the cam lever assembly, and what we want is to have this engage kind of right at the 45 or so. So that's a little bit, that's actually probably not too bad right there. You can just start it to grab. It can be a little bit over the 45, that's fine. That will help it release the bullet a little bit better. So we work the lever, we pull the ram down. You can see here we've got the case, the bullet has been pulled, we dump the powder, and then we can raise the cam lock lever to the top position and it releases the bullet. Let me show you the process once we've got things dialed in and are up running steady state. So once you've got the tool set up, it's really easy to use. You're just going to put a cartridge in, hold the cam lock lever up to release tension, bear down on the bullet slightly, dump the powder out of the case, then raise the lever, that's going to release the bullet, and you're off and running. Once you get into the flow, it's pretty fast. It doesn't take a whole lot of tension on the bullet, and that's going to make it release a whole lot better. Lock and Load AP is a good progressive press to use here because the case retention spring system works really good for quick access to the cartridges at each station. See, I'm spilling a little bit of powder. I'm not worrying about that because I was kind of over full, and it's just kind of a reality when you've got powder sticking to the bases of the bullets. So I'll clean up the press afterwards. I'll get all ready. I'll have pre-primed cases here. I'll reload, I'll double, I'll triple, I'll quadruple check. My load should be kind of off and running. So reloading mess ups are always a bummer. I just feel fortunate that I found out about this issue in the reloading room rather than out at the range. It's a lot better to waste a bunch of time than to have a gun blow up on you or to injure your hand, lose an eye, that kind of a thing. So I've probably got an hour or two more to break down all this ammo before I even get to the point where I'm ready to start reloading. So I'm going to get back to it, but if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss any of the action on ultimatereloader.com, please subscribe to my channel. Until then, safe loading and safe shooting. See y'all later.